Hello, this is the first of 3 quick install and setup videos where we'll take you through the complete process of installing and configuring Raspbian on a Raspberry Pi, installing and configuring the SoftHub platform and its components, and doing a quick check to ensure everything is working properly. The first video will cover setting up Raspbian on the Pi, the second will cover installing the SoftHub platform, and the third will be the verification step where we'll actually create and execute an example rule set. Note that these videos are very abbreviated and not meant to be a replacement for the actual installation materials. Before we get started, these are the things you will need to run through all 3 videos. Links to any software utilities we reference will be available in the video's description on our YouTube channel. First, you'll need a Raspberry Pi 3, 4, or 0W. You'll need a Windows computer with an SD card reader writer. You'll need a blank 8 GB or more micro SD card. And for the verification step, you'll need 1 or more sensors from the SoftHub Sensor Support Suite. You can see the full list of sensors the SoftHub supports on the support page of the OmnIoT.com website. Note that if you'd like to use an ANT sensor, you will also need an ANT USB dongle. Similarly, while we're not going to cover it in our example rule set, to make use of the SoftHub's GPIO capabilities, you'll need either a breadboard or some GPIO controllable device such as this power switch by Digital Loggers. For software, you'll need to have some form of utility capable of writing the Raspbian image to your SD card. We'll be using Win32 Disk Imager. You'll also want to install PuTTY to allow you to SSH into your Pi, as well as the PSCP command to be able to transport files between your Windows machine and your Pi. Lastly, during the installation validation step, we'll be sending packet data to the public Mosquito MQTT broker. So you'll want to install the MQTT.fx utility to allow you to also connect to the broker from your PC to view the packets your Pi will be publishing. So let's get started. For the most part, we'll do every step live so you don't miss anything. We will, however, speed up the video for any processes that take more than a few seconds. We'll put up an indicator when we're doing the fast forwarding just in case it's not obvious. First, go to the raspberrypi.org website and download the latest light version of Raspbian. The same install package is used whether you have a Raspberry Pi 3, 4, or 0. To save time, we've already downloaded and extracted the image from the zip file into a local directory. Insert your SD card into the reader on your Windows computer. It's best to always fully remove any existing partitions on your card before you write the new image. Now we'll use the Win32 Disk Imager tool to write the Raspbian image to the SD card. Once the card has been written, before you remove it from your computer, we'll need to make a few changes to enable SSH and to also set up preliminary access to our Wi-Fi network. To enable SSH access, you create an empty file simply named SSH in lowercase in the base directory of your SD card. Next, we create a WPA supplicant.conf file in the same directory. On boot up, if this file exists, it overwrites the like-named system file in the etc WPA supplicant directory. This is an example file to set up basic Wi-Fi access. Note that if your network's SSID is hidden, you'll need to uncomment the scan_SSID equals 1 line. Other than that, we only need to set our network SSID name and Wi-Fi password and save our file. Now we'll eject the SD card from our Windows computer and plug it into our Raspberry Pi. Once you've inserted the card, plug in the Pi's power adapter and give it a few minutes to boot up and connect to your network. This is also a good time to mention to be sure you've addressed any additional security you may have set up on your network, such as filtering access by MAC address. Use the PuTTY command to connect to the new device. By default, the initial device name is Raspberry Pi, the login ID is Pi, and the password is Raspberry. Should be noted here that to use the host name in your PuTTY command, as we've done, your Windows computer should have the Bonjour networking services installed. If not, you'll need to replace the Raspberry Pi.local string with the actual IP address that gets assigned to your Pi. Now that we're in, we'll configure our Pi by running the raspiconfig utility. We're going to make a handful of changes, but first we'll update the utility itself. Once that's complete, we'll set up a new login password, give our Pi our desired network host name, permanently enable SSH, set up our time zone, and lastly we'll expand our OS partition so that the Raspbian OS has full access to all of our SD cards available storage. Now we'll reboot before we do one last update. We use PuTTY again to log in, and we've set up some shortcuts to make the process easier. Finally, we'll update the system and get all the latest fixes, and once that's complete, our new Pi is up and going and ready for our SoftHub installation. Watch the Part 2 video where we'll take you through the full process of installing the SoftHub and all of its components. Thanks for watching.